Back to all of our Bite fans and members. Too good an opportunity with Jacko in the background. That's all right. We're here in Santa Monica still with PK, and I thought it was a great opportunity to speak about some of the things that Bite fans can expect when the Dodgers do come down, and the sensation that is Yasiel Puig, which is not easy for me to say, but I guess he's just probably the hottest property in the game right now. How did he come about even being a Dodger, and explain to us what the fans might see?
Well, he's been in the league around a month now, and he's very exciting. And Cuban defector, we gave him around $40 million for a 6-year contract, and he's come on. Started out in Double-A. He's come on very strong, and had probably one of the best first months of anybody. So you'd be expecting him to come down under and see him play, as well as the whole cast of characters. Kemp is doing great. Ryu, the Korean pitcher, Kershaw, Greinke. We do have a dynamic baseball team where Hanley Ramirez is coming back off the DL, so it's going to be a very exciting brand of baseball, and we're climbing the ladder very quickly.
So given we're going to see 2 games in Australia, then we'll see the number 1 and 2 starters, you'd think. That means Kershaw, left-handed pitcher, and possibly who?
Probably Greinke or Ryu. Depends who they want to bring home or bring over, and maybe with the Asian sort of draw on the Pacific Rim, it might be a Ryu, just for the Korean fans in the Pacific Rim area.
Just talk us through Ryu and how that came about. I know you were heavily involved with it, and a lot of people in Australia wouldn't know the difficulties you have to go through to recruit someone from Korea. Just run us through that.
Well, process. He was a professional, so he was already playing in the major leagues. Very highly touted, MVP of the league. And I probably saw him pitch 30 times over the last 2 or 3 years, and all of a sudden this player, one of 2 ways, becomes a free agent where he can be signed by anybody, or he gets posted. That means that all 30 teams have a chance to bid for his services. So we liked him a lot. When I came over to the Los Angeles Dodgers, we were the winners of the post. So 12 teams put in the figure. We won that figure, or won that opportunity to negotiate with him.
And let's talk about the numbers then.
$28 million just to talk to him. And we have 30 days to negotiate a contract with him. So after the 30 days, if it expires and you don't have a deal done, no money is transferred to $27 million initially, or the posting money. So we ended up having a contract negotiated with him, another $30 million, which has proven so far very, very good, because he's pitching well. And we give the money to the team that he came from. So they get roughly $30 million. We signed a $30 million contract. And, from the Dodgers standpoint, we use it as a marketing process to get that posting money back. So the $30 million through television and merchandising and things like that. Hopefully you kind of break even, and at the end of the day, it's just the salary that you have to pay him. And I think it's the second highest posting figure since Darvish.
Uh-huh.
He was like $60 million.
So we talk about marketing and what have you. Is there a chance there'll be an Australian on the roster for the opening weekend?
Well, Moyland right now is on our 40-man roster. He was designated for assignment recently. Peter Moyland, the Australian. So hopefully, there's a chance, and I'm sure there's every reason to have somebody. So if you're out there and want to play, get your coming out to a tryout.
Now's the time.
Yeah, now's the time.
There's also some exciting things coming up, like the All-Star game that our fans, in particular the Bite fans, can go and have a watch party at one of our sponsors, the Aqaba Hotel. But you'll either be there in New York and hosting someone or around the place. It's an exciting time.
Well, it is. It's great that we heard that the Adelaide Bite member won the trip. Understands bringing a friend along, and that's fantastic news. And that's just one of the perks of number one, being a member of the ABL, but also from a standpoint of the Adelaide Bite, it's even better, because I think we've had one went to the World Series as well, and now the All-Star game. So those are things that I'm trying to get involved with and help out when I'm over here.
Fantastic. And you recently returned from New York from Old Timers Day, and which is something we're trying to create some tradition in Adelaide. I haven't quite had the success, but it's a massive production, a 4 or 5 day weekend that I was fortunate enough to be involved with. But you were out in the field, you looked to have some fun.
Yeah, well, it's always fun. It was a pleasure to be out there with Graham Lloyd, and we had a bit of a chuckle out there in the pitcher's mound, just saying, "What are we doing here?" And that was kind of a surreal time. But it's all the great guys get together, and I'm sure you have some photos that we can put on the website to show who we're hanging out with during that weekend. I mean, as much as you're pinching yourself, I pinch myself every time I'm out. I'm there with Goose Gossage, Bucky Dent, Yogi Berra, those sort of names that have been around forever. So it's always a compliment and an honor to be just invited. And also to share it with you and friends and things like that.
It was exciting for me to see the excitement that the players had running around like little kids again playing a game.
Oh, exactly.
Even Lloydie said he took his camera out there to take photos on Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, it's something that you never get used to. Yeah, it's always it's a pinch yourself moment.
And I see you've got a World Series hat on there, meaning you went last year with our naming rights sponsor, SA Power Networks, Rob Stovey. Loved his trip there. Quite obviously, you'd like to see the Dodgers get into the World Series, and they're tracking really well of late.
Yeah, well, definitely an exciting trip last year. We took our naming rights sponsors, like you said, over there, Rob Stovey, Russell Duncan, and we had a fantastic trip just to reinforce that relationship, giving something back to our naming rights sponsors, and they basically took care of me as well. So it was a great trip, and unfortunately it was a lopsided series, but hopefully this year we'll be able to do it again, and there'll be the Dodgers involved. And I would love them to come down to Australia in 2014, opening the series as the World Series champions. That'd be fantastic.
So Dodgers versus who? Get the crystal ball out.
In the World Series this year, Dodgers versus. I like to beat the Yankees because I think it'll just be a great World Series. I don't think they're going to make it, but they'll give it a good shot. But anybody. I just want the Dodgers to win because that's who I'm working for. They're paying the bills, Dava. You know
right.
what it is.
Again, thanks for your time, Pat, and enjoy the rest of your time in LA, and we'll see you soon.
No worries, Nathan.